All right. Hopefully, all of this works correctly. Again, uh, Doc is not used to streaming, so hopefully, I can get things sorted. So, thank you all for joining today for this chat. What we'll be doing is going through a kind of ride along of the game Duru about mole rats and depression, which is a super fun and endearing game. So if there are any issues on stream with the audio or anything, blame me. I'm still getting used to all of this. Hopefully everything comes out okay. So today I have Kristen here. Is it Kristen or Kirsten? I never remember.
It's Kerstin, but
Kirsten. All right. I
yeah.
want to make sure I have the right pronunciation. So Kirsten, which is one of the developers with Twisted Ramble Games. So welcome, Kirsten.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We had you on a podcast a while ago. I think now it's a couple years ago, kind of talking about your game. And at the time, it was still was it in alpha still?
It was in development.
Hmm.
We probably shouldn't label it because I have no idea which state it was in that time. We had a demo. I think that's what we were having. And yeah.
And now the game is fully released, or is it still
Yes,
in yeah, or is it still in
a
beta?
year. No, it's released a year ago. I think it's like, is it its birthday? Sorry, I have to check Steam.
Well, happy birthday, Duru, if it is.
Because we released sometime early in May. In 3 days, it's Duru's first birthday.
Well, happy early birthday, Duru. I remember before the release, you had shared some beta codes with us, and we were able to play some of the beta. And I really liked the game and the graphics and the way it was presented. And I didn't have a lot of time to play through everything, but I had a chance to play a bit last night, and me and Joe were talking about it, and we really loved the gameplay and how endearing it
No.
was, and being the psychologist here is like, ooh, I can see what they're trying to do there and the stupid depression getting in your way. And this is something hopefully we'll be able to touch on the stream. I'm not super far in the game, but can you tell us a little bit about Duru and how it came to be?
Yeah, of course. So Duru is a game about morals and depression, which shouldn't go together, but it does. The moral part came in because we were looking for something to make depression cute, if that makes sense. And we were looking for animals that are kind of like structured like humans. So we went with Moritz, and then one thing led to another. So basically, in Duru, you play as the Morat Tuli, which is a worker Morat. She is there to collect food and take care of the colony this way. So everybody has to play their part, like in human society.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, the colony, the Morat colony, experience a food shortage.
Mm-hmm.
And Julie thinks she needs to work harder, and basically she overworks, and then that little black creature appears that makes everything so much harder.
Oh, I was around that part in the game and I could see it, but there was also like predisposing events of envy there, kind of envying of that mole rat that was kind of bringing in like hundreds of was it radishes?
Yeah, like root vegetables, something like this.
Yeah, and um, they were so happy. It was like, oh, I got six, and then the next person came out with like 100. It's like, oh, and then kind of doubting themselves and what they're doing. And there's no voiceover, there's no like directed story. It's all told through these amazing little interactions, but you get the sense and the endearing nature of these characters, which I really like.
Yeah, so everybody is talking in picture dialogue.
Hmm.
Um, and basically, it's something that is open for interpretation. Like everybody can put their own experience or interpretation in it, but still makes you experience the whole story and what the characters are going through. And also, we were thinking it's since Duru shouldn't, like, the plan for Duru was to be a colorful game about a dark topic, and language carries much weight with it. Like the word depression alone, it's like it's heavy in some way, and we wanted to avoid it. And our solution for that was using picture dialogues.
Oh, it's great, and people on stream will be able to see it as well. That all of the in-game like tool tips are these little animated cave paintings, so it kind of brings this nice, clean aesthetic to it.
Yeah, at the earlier stages we had, because Tuli, her like her passion is being a painter. She paints cave painting herself, and she, like in the early stages, she was painting everything that she was thinking about on like the save points. But we found out through testing that people didn't recognize the save points, so we had to change it.
Well,
So now we have like these internal monologues.
so it's one thing to talk about it. So how about we just bring it into the gameplay? So hopefully everything comes out okay. And let me see. So the game audio and the voice chat. So everything should be coming through okay.
I see it on stream.
Yeah. So let me bring that. Oh, awesome. All right. So let me bring this through and take my controller, because again, I found that the game plays a little bit easier with a controller. So let's start up a new game and go through it together, and we can kind of talk and chat about what's going on the game.
Yeah, I'm very excited because it's been a while since I've seen people play live. So it's always nice to see how people play your game, and especially how they interpret the dialogues.
So this is Tuli, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's the main character.
Yeah. So you can see that she loves painting and collecting those root vegetables.
Yeah, basically that's what she says is her identity.
And who do we have here?
She's named Lalele. They all have names, although we don't get to know them in the context of the game because Maurits can't write. So you can make up your own names if you like. We gave them names because it's like easier for the work progress.
A nice little butterfly.
Yeah, go chase it. Go chase the flying root vegetable.
And I just like the platforming, because it brings me back to my old like platforming days on Super Nintendo playing like Mega Man X. Like, oh, this feels so familiar.
Aw. That's nice having like a little bit of nostalgia in there. Also having like this game as a puzzle platformer was also a very conscious choice because it's the easiest accessible one if you're not like a hardcore gamer.
Oh yeah, because it is super like easy to get the controls down, just because it just explains it in a way, and I think the controls are kind of magnetized a little bit to some of the things rather than like pixel point accuracy of like the old school Mega Man games.
Yeah, no, that's not what Duru is. Aw. Hello, Lord Calv. Someone of our community is here.
Oh, awesome. All right. Again,
And yeah,
if the audio seems a little off, just let me know. Thank you, Chewbacca, and hopefully that kind of fixes it a little bit. When I was playing last night, this person was kind of one of the antagonists of kind of putting Thule down.
yeah, so he is Mablevi. You can mark him down as like the manager of the food storage or the food in the colony.
Because it kind of touches on like Tully wanting to be like the best mole rat possible, but always having this person saying that you're not enough, or no, you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Which
And
really,
this one is a friend of hers.
because it really touches on elements of depression where oftentimes people will compare themselves to individuals, will see or believe that they're not good enough.
Yeah, it's like when you hear people say it constantly, at some point you might believe it.
Again, bringing back
Expert stone throwing there.
oh yeah, just chuck the rock. And I think this is the person that Tully is like the most envious of as well.
Yes. She is like a big girl Morat, and she can carry so much, and she's so much bigger and stronger than Thule is. And Thule is, one of the smaller Morats, so yeah, she wants to be as strong as her.
Again, have to do the like expert stone throwing.
Oh,
Will we get it? There we go. It's like I played this level before.
Thank you, Chewbacca. The art style is all credited to Verena. We were a 3-woman team on this game, so Verena is in charge, or was in charge, of the art style and the animation and basically everything visual. Sandra is our third girl. She is mainly in charge of level design, also working with me on the concept and the mechanics. And I basically do the rest, like coding, the storytelling, the concept, the game mechanics, all of this.
So here, Tully woke up from a dream, kind of being chased by that nightmarish dark depression.
Yeah, and trying to reach, the light, and wasn't able to.
Again, we talked about that there's no like voiceover, but it kind of gives you a story in these conversations with these pictures, and you're kind of making it up as you go.
Yeah, what do you think is the story there?
So right now is, of what I understood, is Tuli was kind of talking about the dream that she had, but also kind of going to talk with her friends.
Yes, yeah. Also, if there's like some background noise soon, I apologize, but the dog came back from a walk and he is very excited because now it's dinner time.
It's like, wait, I have to have the food, Mom.
Yeah, but Dad is taking care of it.
That's right. I'm trying to remember exactly where I had to go.
Oh, you have help there.
Yeah.
In the stream, your picture's over it, but there's a button where you can ask for help. So if you don't know where to go.
Yeah, that's right. You have to. It gives you the arrow.
Yes. That's the fountain of the Morat Queen.
So who came up with like the mole rat village aesthetic? Super cute.
We were inspired by an African tribe, the Dogon people,
Mm-hmm.
and they built this amazing houses where basically like every little nook or indent they have on their houses is storage. And that's such a great idea, and it looks so pretty. So, since morets are African mammals as well, we were like, oh, it makes sense to have them, build their houses this way.
So right in this picture, I'm kind of seeing that Tuli is kind of standing apart from her friends, kind of not wanting to
Yeah.
share how she's struggling, about kind of that darkness, that almost burnout is setting in.
Mhm. What do you think is the response from her friend?
Just almost like get over it, like stomp it out and just go.
Oh, interesting. I meant it to be like Lalele, like the more red
Mm-hmm.
at the right on the table is like more the reassuring one.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh yeah, Chewbacca also thinks you're worthy. But that's the great joy of this style of dialogues.
You kind of make up that own story for yourself.
Yes. The carrier, like the carrier Morat, we saw that just now. He was more like an in joke, and then Marina made a animation.
Yeah, that guy is like, he went through the trenches.
Oh, sorry. Can you show the help arrow again?
Yeah. Like, taking me to essentially
Oh
going
no.
into the
Yeah,
mines.
yeah. You have to go down. I'm not sure. We just found a bug. Oh no, on a year-old game. You have to go downstairs.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I played it last night, but trying to remember exactly where it is.
Yeah, it's basically what you also can do. Like there are these
There it is.
fast travel things.
There it is. Hey, she's all ready to go to work and get all of those radishes. Because I'm looking at like this map screen. How many levels are in the game? Because it kind of looks at like each corner point is where a level would be.
There's some in between,
Okay.
but I think it's like. Oh god, I don't want to lie. I have I have to look it up. I'm so sorry.
A rough estimation is good enough.
I think it's 18. Hang on. It's 14.
14.
And then
Okay.
basically 14, and then you have like a last battle. Spoilers.
That's right. I don't remember exactly how it was here. Oh, yeah. Put that there. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to remember. Again, I played it last night. I was like, I remember, but I don't really remember.
But having like the big stone to jump from, I mean, throwing the little stone works as well.
Yeah, because you have to hit these two pieces here. And
Yeah.
there. There we go.
Also, if you hold down the jump button for longer, then you can jump higher.
Oh, can you? Oh, I didn't know that. There we go. Gotta figure it out eventually. And I like the exploration in the game of, it's like, oh, you have to collect all of the radishes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
also something that is like very separate from the experience Thule's having. Like you as a player, you get, your achievement from, oh, I collected everything, or I collected nearly everything. And for Thule, it doesn't really matter at some point how much she collected.
but being in the Destiny community, we kind of all know that, oh, we need to collect every single piece of equipment. So I finished one of the levels last night. It's like, oh, I got 5 out of the 6. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to replay the level and get the 6th one.
Yeah.
I remember go up there.
There you go.
There. Oh yeah, Chewbacca is like parkour. But it's a
How do you like the wall jump?
oh I love it.
Okay. Because
It-
that was something that was also much up for debate. Like, how does it feel? Does it feel right?
But
Like,
again,
even with AI coding being like a nightmare, the wall jumping was worse to get it right.
but again, being a child of the 90s generation, playing the old school Mega Man and Mega Man X series, I just love that type of mechanic of side-scroller platformer. And it just brings me back to that time. Chewbacca was saying, yeah, wall jumps are so cool. Oh, and I died many a times with these little thorns.
Oh no. Oh, that was a leap of faith.
There it is.
Oh.
Oh, it just made it through. Whew.
What's like the earliest game you can remember playing?
It was Super Mario on the original NES. That was my first introduction to gaming. So I'm pretty versed in the side-scroller platformer.
For me, it was like we had a school computer, like in the mid '90s, and there was Prince of Persia. And when we finished with all our homework, like we had the thing where you can stay after school, and when we were finished, we were allowed to play Prince of Persia.
Oh,
And it
that
was
takes me
amazing.
back too. Again, had to get that last radish. It's the completionist in me that has to go get it. And also, we kind of want Tilly to be satisfied with getting everything, because she's working
Yeah.
super hard to help her colony.
Oh yes, Chewbacca just said Tetris was the first game.
Tetris is a classic, and someone actually beat Tetris, the first human to beat Tetris, I think, in a couple months ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah, someone beat Tetris because you can get to a certain level where the game crashes,
Oh my god.
and it was only ever beaten with AI. And I think it was a 13 or 15-year-old kid that beat it on stream.
Oh wow. I didn't even know that. I always thought you beat Tetris when, the rocket starts.
So later on, it comes out that there's a worm infestation in like the radishes. Does it come from like this mole rat? You can see that the ratters that they have is rotten.
Yeah, maybe.
So again, my psychologist brain kind of coming in is like, well, the person that Tully looks up to is kind of the person, because they're bigger, stronger. The person that gets all of the radishes is kind of the one that caused all of the turmoil that they'll go through later.
That would be actually better because this is a different mole rat.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, we have two big ones, but
Okay.
yeah.
I might not have gotten that far yet.
But yeah, one thing you can see in this interactions is that basically, you know, the storage manager is telling everybody that they are lazy and they're doing not enough.
Yeah, I was saying, Joe, that guy is kind of an asshole.
It's
like Tully worked their butt off and they did all that they could, but no, it's not enough.
yeah, it's boss of the year material right there.
And then him saying that, oh no, you're not doing good. This person did better than you did.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
automatically hearing that brings down their self-confidence, brings down how they view themselves. And then saying that they're lazy.
Yeah, sorry, one second. There's a very sad dog in front of my door. Hang on.
Oh, that's okay.
Hi. Okay, sorry about that. But I was afraid the whining would would carry over to the stream.
That's okay.
So yeah, that's my very personal guardian of mental health and also challenger of mental health.
You can still see Tully kind of ruminating over what that manager was saying.
Yeah.
Kind of asking if she's tired or exhausted. And kind of verbalizing it. Yeah, that guy was not very nice. At least Tully's verbalizing to their friends and actually saying, like, this is the thing that is going on, rather than just not verbalizing it and hiding from everyone.
Yeah. That is something that, I mean, how much should I spoil?
As much as you want, it's your game.
That is actually something that will change throughout the course of the game. Because that is also something that, like, I did also myself when I was, in the earlier stages of my depression, that I was too ashamed to admit what I was feeling. And we can see that, like with Thule, it's like something that comes with the illness. It's not something that is like inherently a trait of who she is.
And now to go to bed.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a normal day, right? You get up, you work,
you did your work day, and now you go back to bed.
Yeah.
You have to find your little hut.
So the main character looked up to these people, but they were always judgmental. Not necessarily.
It looks like the friends are pretty supportive, but just the colony as a whole is so focused on productivity and kind of getting better. It's a reflection of like corporate jobs.
Yes, like in a corporate society also.
Oh no, the attack of the worms. But this is the king mole rat.
It's actually a queen. Like
Queen?
mole rats have a queen, yeah.
Okay. So now the kind of colony's in danger because they have no more food. So that's one thing. They're saying, oh, you have to give 110%, which is something a lot of people say, playing sports or at work, I'm going to give my 110%. But when you really think about it, it's impossible to give 110%. You can only give your maximum, which is 100%. So
Yeah.
they're asking you to go above what you're capable of doing.
And it's one of the sentences I really, really hate. I hate saying, "Oh, we are like in this bad situation, and everybody have to work hard and give 110%." And I hate it so much.
Oh, absolutely, because you're already doing 100%. You can't really do more.
Yeah, nor should you be asked to.
And it kind of talks about like the gaming industry as a whole during like crunch time.
Yeah.
Where a lot of organizations saying, oh, we have to meet this deadline because of X, Y, or Z. So everyone needs to essentially stop functioning as a human and just do your work.
Exactly. Yeah, and Oniki Cat also says sets a precedent that nothing you do will be enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much agree with that.
So totally saying, oh, I'm just going to do twice the amount of work. So really wanting to prove themselves and be better than like the rock star of the colony.
Yeah. Yeah, like achieving, like she wants not only to give 110%, she wants to give 200%.
Oh yeah, I think she's looking for some of that recognition.
Yeah, and from that guy down there. Oh no, it's working. That's so odd.
Small
like
bug.
Sorry, yeah. Have to shut up my inner developer.
Oh, that's fine. I try to turn off the psychologist's brain, and sometimes it doesn't always work. So if I remember correctly, level 2 is kind of when we come into contact with depression.
I think it's the next one, because what we see is happen that Tuli is not, satisfied with just doing level 2.
I could cheat the system, but I can't. Come on.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during development, and how did you overcome them? Well, I think the biggest challenge that we never really overcame was having enough money to finance the game or to finance us. Because we needed longer than we expected. Some of the parts are like more complicated than we anticipated, like the AI. Like we know it was going to be like hard and complicated, but the amount of time that had to go in there was just more than we had time and money for. So at some point we had to take on second jobs and handling the stress of that. I mentioned earlier that I had depression myself, or like have, but for like, I'm not saying dogs cure depression, but since I have mine, I didn't have any symptoms. So before that, I was pretty much Thule. I was overworking. I wasn't satisfied with the work. And facing that challenge, even though you know better and you do a game about it, was a weird one. Yeah, and I think that's like when you asked many indie game studios, they have the same struggle, right? You want to do the game you have in mind justice, especially when it's like about a topic that is as important and sensitive as depression. But sometimes you don't have the resources for it. Like I said, we were like 3 people, and at some point, none of us were working full time on this game. So that was basically the main challenge, not having enough resources to have like a relaxed experience developing the game, maybe.
Because if I remember, you said that you were 3 people to work on the game, to do the entirety of it.
Yes.
Because when you really think about it, it is not that many people to build any game.
I mean, you have also solo developer, but people who work everything on the game. So it is possible to create a game with less, but it's also like very time consuming. And you either have like enough resources to finance yourself, or you have like a publisher that is willing to help you out. We are very, very grateful that we have a community that backed us on Kickstarter and helped us out there, and we had a media fund, but everything was very, very tightly planned, and with like COVID in the middle of it, it didn't help.
Yeah, COVID kind of threw a wrench for everyone.
Yes, and when we were thinking about it, like we were like, oh, okay, great, we can't get outside, but that's not where we do our job anyways. Mm-hmm. But still, like the stress of it, and at some point, Berlina and I couldn't work together in the same room anymore because of all the lockdowns. It's not it's not the best working environment, a pandemic. And I'm glad it's over.
Well, for a game about depression, how did the pandemic impact kind of your view of the game and this sensitive topic?
We were hoping that it would, help people open up more about what they were going through, especially at the point where like conventions and stuff were happening again. And that's basically the best thing about it, right? When we went to conventions, people felt safe enough to talk with us about the experience or the experience of someone they know. And having like this game accompanying it it's just a great experience, and people sharing it and noticing that they are not alone with that. That's all we want. But the pandemic in the middle of it, where we did ourselves some streams. It was also like having people on stream sharing, and I think that's the biggest success. having people who feel like this is safe enough that I can tell about my own experience and my feelings and emotions.
So what we see that just happened here, rather than going back to bed, Tilly decided that she's going to pull a double shift.
Yes. And at some point somebody asked me like if this is like a biographic game, like is Thule me, and I never thought of her that way because she has other symptoms than I had. But in some ways, we are very similar, and I haven't even noticed until somebody, pointed it out to me.
But when it comes to burnout, a lot of people are so focused on like their performance because they see it as a responsibility. They see their job or the things that they have to do as I am responsible for these things. And pulling double duty is kind of part of the gig or the equation.
Yeah.
You can just see that she's tired.
Yeah, she's tired, and now you can see all the bad thoughts.
All of the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
So this is the little depression monster.
Yeah, that's your friend now, if you want to or not.
Do they have a name or anything?
We call it Beal.
Beal, okay. Because when I was playing through it, the way that I saw it was there was a video done by the World Health Organization years ago. I don't remember exactly when it was.
Yeah.
It was done, called the Big Black Dog.
Yes.
Relating to depression, and this part of the level is like, oh, it's the Big Black Dog. It just makes me think of that exactly.
Yeah, it's for sure it's like an inspiration for that as well. During our the development, we did some research on people who shared their experience and how they describe depression. And when you look closer, you can see it's not just like a dog; it's a dog with many, many legs. So it's always fast. You can't run away.
It will interfere. Later, people will see it that it will interfere with some of the progress that you're trying to do. And I was playing before I got the little puzzle. See, I put the little bastard.
This is my favorite moment when people first reach this point.
You have to outsmart the depression almost.
Yeah. You have to deal with all the ill will it puts towards you and your progress.
And it's trying to figure out how you do this without angering the little depression, but also you'll constantly try to essentially screw you over.
Yeah.
Not only are you trying
exactly.
to figure out the puzzle, but you have to baby the depression.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not there to be helpful.
And just like real life depression, you kind of have to learn with it because you can't just will it out of existence. You have to work
you can't.
with it.
You can also try to leave it behind, but I can't
won't let
tell you
you.
that much. It won't let you.
Come on.
Do these pets have positive and negative aspects? Do you mean like the depression pet?
Yeah, the depression pet does it because they're asking if it can actually have some positive aspects to the gameplay.
Ah, okay.
So it kind of adds an extra layer of complexity as well.
Yeah, so I think for you as a player, it's another element of the puzzle, and you can have the satisfaction of outsmarting it. In the context of Thule, it's it's purely negative. And in later puzzles, you kind of have to use this negativity to move forward. Like when you put a stone somewhere and it kicks it away, that might be actually helpful for reaching a route. But we had, in the very early prototyping stages, we actually had a depression monster that had two sides to itself. So when it was like calm, you could actually climb on its back to reach higher places, like a platform, or like you do now with a big stone. But that got and then it had like a stage where it's not so nice, and where it will do all the things that we are currently seeing.
Because it doesn't like that you're running away from it.
Yeah, no.
Like, oh no, you have to get back here.
Oh no.
And I see on the ground it has this little mask. Like the flowers kind of form this like little depression mask. And I know there was a question in chat saying, can you talk about the design of depression with the mask? Because it's this black thing, and it kind of has this mask on it.
Yeah, it. Later on, you will see that this little monster actually has different stages. Not just that one is helpful, but it's like levels of bad. So sometimes it's also a little bit smaller. Like in the later stages, when Thule manages to, keep a calmer mind, or somebody helps her, like actually helps her, and not just telling her to smile more or something like that. You can see that Beer will shrink. Otherwise it has levels of bad. Like behind the mask is like the actual monster. And you can also see that the mask kind of looks like Thule. Mm-hmm. You can see that it has like the same, a mole rat, and it has like the same spot on top of the head, like Thule has. And so it's like to draw more the connection between the two characters.
Aha! You have to outsmart the little thing.
Yeah.
Which is something I really like, because it adds to that like haste in gameplay. It's like, oh my god, I have to get to this thing before it knocks the rock off.
Yeah.
Throw it. I know it didn't reach. Remember, I played this little part last night. It's like, oh, you have to have that lob to try to get it to where you want to go.
Yeah, you have to do like a trick shot.
Woo!
I believe in you. Oh, you got it. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind because I watch the game on the stream.
The stream's a little delayed. Come on. Oh yeah, that's right. You have to have it come here, because it won't come down on its own. You have to help it down. Come on.
Yeah, because it's it's with all its legs, it's still heavier than Thule and has to have assistance. You mentioned the AI. This game is unique in it works with you and against you. Can you share a little of how? That's a nice question. Basically, this the AI companion that works with and against you is like the whole hook of this game idea. As I said earlier, sometimes you can use its unhelpful behavior to be actually helpful, with you needing it to, push some stone aside. It has like, right now you only have 2 objects you can draw. Later on you get more, and it interacts with them in different ways. So we have. Are you holding like the controller downwards when you jump onto the platform?
No, well, it might be just the controller, because it is getting old.
Okay.
Come on. and just have to wait for it. So it kind of really brings out that aspect of, well, you can't run away from depression.
Oh no, what happened? Oh god. Yeah. It's not perfect as long as it works. Sometimes it has like trouble with edges. There is some difficulty between having like a four-legged character and a two-legged character, in that it is wider, so collision detection and edge detection gets a bit trickier.
Yeah, this spot was the complicated one at first. Like, how do I get this done? Because I'll show it on stream. It's like, oh, you have to put the rocks on this. And the little bastard just pushes things away. Because it's not letting you... Because you can see the puzzle, but it's not letting you do it.
Yes.
So if we put that there... Come on.
Did you figure it out on your own, or did you use
Yeah.
the information that, like, after some times we have like a little icon that pops up where you can request help?
Yeah, because I saw that. I remember that you couldn't have it come down when this little like mask is, so it kind of gives you the indication that, oh, that ledge is too high for it. It's like,
Yes.
let's use that to the advantage.
Exactly, yeah.
And again, I missed one of the radishes, but that's okay. Same thing as last night. I couldn't find that last radish. So now Tuli's kind of wondering, well, what is this person going to think of this little monster? Are they going to be scared of it? But in this, can the other mole rats see the depression, or is it just for Tuli to see it?
They can't see it.
They can't see it, so it is that, like that black dog, like the Who had mentioned, of you know it's there and it's following you and it's interfering with your life. But depression is that invisible illness that people don't see.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and Tuli is wondering about it as well.
Yeah, well, she's kind of asking, well, why can't people see it?
Yeah, it's a... Oh. Nobody saw that. Could you tell us what other pets we may encounter? Oh, it's just this one. It's just this, black dog depression monster. But it has various forms. Depending on, like... Since, depression is not one level, like... at least for me, it wasn't like one level. There are good and bad days, and we try to represent it with the depression monster growing and shrinking.
So again, we're seeing here that like Tuli's thinking, oh well, this manager is able to see it, and they're going to be angry at her for it.
Yeah, you can't bring your pet to work.
No, well, depending on where you work. Again, saying that Tuli's lazy.
Yeah, and way too late because it's already dark.
But not necessarily recognizing that Tuli pulled a double shift.
Yeah.
Right, you're kind of seeing here that, oh, I need to continue going, but you can already see the exhaustion here. And depression kind of feeding off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also one thing that is like helping communicating that thoughts that Tuli might have are connected to the illness, to the depression monster, and are not entirely her own. Like this, for example, am I too weak? Or later on, she thinks I'm not strong enough. Stuff like that.
And I think we're gonna stop the gameplay here, just because
Mhm.
I don't want to go too far into it, and I really want people to continue playing and maybe get the game themselves to really experience this, because it is super colorful, super fun, and I can't wait to continue playing to see where the story kind of lends itself.
Yeah, and I'm like, as you as a psychologist, I'm very eager to hear what you think about it when you like reach the end.
All right, can
Duru
you
is
still?
currently
Hopefully, everyone can
available
still
on
hear me.
Steam. I can still hear you.
Oh, there. I think I hit the wrong button. There we go. Two buttons on my Stream Deck. Yeah, I as a psychologist, I really loved the way that it kind of really depicts depression and how it really puts it in a way that is fun, it's interactive, but you can see kind of the progression of it and kind of the dangers of overworking and having these negative thoughts on productivity and what you have to do to find some form of achievement.
Yeah.
So when you were making the game, what was your takeaway when you finally completed this, I'm sure, labor of love?
In what regards?
Was it a form of satisfaction that it's finally out in the world that people can now experience?
For us, since our company story is the story of what can go wrong while doing a game. um, we had like a bit of technical issues when we first set the release date, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't happen on the date. It happened like 2 days later, but still, it was
Hey,
like
2 days
one.
is not that bad, considering what some studios are years delayed.
Yeah. But it's like it was like just one more thing that did go wrong. We were relieved that it's out on the store. That was
Yeah.
our thought. But after it settled, like it was a bit unreal because we worked so long on it. And after that, it was like, at least for me, it's like, okay, what's next? Because that's how my brain works. So, what is the next issue we can tackle and at what way? And also, the other thought was, oh God, I have to fix bugs and do patches.
Well, with how
Yeah.
complex games are now, there's always something that's going to happen.
Yes. And especially when you have like, if any young game developers are listening or old game developers that want to create their first game, don't create one with an AI companion when you're just one programmer. That's it's not a good idea because so much can happen, and especially when you have a companion who is like such an essential part of the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to get it right because first, when we pitched this idea to people, they were like, "Oh, is this like a companion quest, but just the whole game?" And with companion quests, you always are a little annoyed because the companion runs off and gets in danger and then dies, and then you have to start the quest all over again.
Oh,
And we
absolutely.
didn't
I
want
was
that.
saying to Joe last night, it's like those escort missions that either
Yes.
the AI companion walks too slow or they pop out at the wrong time and kind of messes with your stealth. But it really highlights the frustration of depression because it will do these things when you least expect it. You
Yes,
have these
exactly.
automatic negative thoughts when it just happens and you don't really have a sense of control of it. Certainly when you're not getting any treatment for it, it'll just kind of pop out at the most inopportune moment.
Yeah, exactly. So we want as much as we want to, show how it influences your life or what impact it has. We didn't want to frustrate people too much.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And Shafe has mentioned, is it only available on Steam, or is it planned to be available on other platforms?
That's
That's a question and a
um,
half.
so currently it's only available on Steam. Like our big dream was to bring it out on Switch as well, and maybe it will happen, but we have to have, time and resources to port it over there, as well as contact at Nintendo to, get access to a dev kit and all that stuff. And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to paint us as, the poor indie devs, but it's pretty much the reality of things.
Because I think this would be a perfect game to play on Switch or even on mobile on something, a phone or a tablet.
Yeah, phone tablet, it's too resource heavy, even though it's a 2D game, but the calculations of the AI, that's not possible on phone, and having like the whole controls porting over there as well, that
Because
like
you
yeah.
really need that physical control for kind of the minutia of everything. And playing on
Yeah.
a touchscreen, I think it would be hard. And Shafe has actually asked the question I was going to ask, because I'm thinking, uh, because Inside Out 2 is coming out next month.
Mhm.
And as a mental health professional, I can't wait for that movie because it is so good. And it kind of makes me think of, is there going to be like a Duru 2 where not just depression, but we're talking about anxiety or another comorbid disorder that is going to be a play?
So we are working on a next project. We have like prototyping funding for it. It's very much different to Duru,
Okay.
but we have thought about, the possibilities regarding games about mental health, mental illness. And when we have like a bit more resources, my dream is doing a positive game where you have uh, uh, what's the English word for it? A mental health clinic,
Okay, yeah.
like, because in games it's always depicted in a very negative way.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's
And
always horror games, and I like there's already such a high hurdle to get over to go actually to this place and get help. And when all you see in movies is that, the doctors are insane and they do experiments on it and they're zombies for some reason, it doesn't help.
yeah, it makes me think of a lot of horror games that are set in old insane asylums or mental health institutions, because it is very eerie and creepy the way that it used to be. It's most places no longer like that, but people
Yeah.
still have this mentality. And I played a game a while ago. I wasn't able to finish the entirety of it, but it was called Sin Therapy. I don't know if you heard of that one. It's on Steam, and you're
No.
playing as like an AI therapist.
Oh.
So you're kind of playing as the point of view of the therapist and thinking about ethics and stuff like that, and it kind of really makes you think there as well. But because there needs to be more, in my opinion, more mental health focused games to kind of really destigmatize the disorders and what people kind of suffer from.
Yeah.
And I really like Hellblade. And we've talked about Hellblade on the podcast so many times, and the new one's coming out soon. It's one of the games that I feel really depicted mental health in a really good way to see the suffering. And adding to this list now is Duru is going to be on that list as well, because it really
Oh,
brings out what it feels like to have depression and having this little thing always in your way.
yeah. Uh,
Shafis asks, "Is there a good way to reach out to like a GoFundMe for the new project that you're working on?"
So the next project we're working on is, as I said, it's very different to Duru. It's a murder mystery dating sim about toxic relationships and healthy choice of partner and how to, find one. We don't have a GoFundMe yet or a Kickstarter. We hope to do one in the future, but we have a Patreon where you can find us at Twisted Ramble Games. So there we post like regular devlogs about what is going on. And, among other things, also like pictures of the characters. And yeah, so if you want to check it out, you can. And you can get cute stickers if you sign up.
So, again, thank you so much for joining us, Kirsten. This was really fun, and I can't wait to continue playing this game.
Thank you so much. It was great to go full circle with the in development game with you guys on the podcast, and now with the finished product.
The finished product is there, and again, I haven't finished the entirety of it, but right now it has my stamp of approval because I can't wait to continue playing. And I tend to, in my own practice, like recommend certain clients play certain games as a way for them to look at either anxiety, depression, or other mental health conditions in a different way. And this one's going to be on that list as well.
No, thank you.
So before we end, is there anything that you want to touch on? You can plug anything that you want.
Oh God, I think I already did that with our Patreon. But no, you can see us on Patreon. You can see us on our YouTube channel if you want to support us over there. The devlogs, for example, will always be posted there a week after. Then we post it on Patreon for everybody to see. Then we have a Discord if you have any other questions about Duru or the next game, which is currently called Was It Poison? Which again will be a murder mystery dating sim about toxic relationships and maybe dating a murderer.
Well, I can't wait to see that. So again, thank you so much for joining, and I highly encourage everyone to try Duru and to give all of the feedback, because
Yes,
this
please.
is an amazing game, and like I mentioned, I can't wait to play some more.
No, thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me and everybody for the nice comments and questions in the chat.
Oh, it was a pleasure. So again, we talked that this ride along was about an hour long. We're kind of 10 minutes over, as we always tend to do here on Guardians MH. But I want to thank everyone for coming, and I wish you a good rest of your afternoon. Right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.